Alright, class, time to get out your pencils and papers and learn something. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Teaching with Mr. Phicksur. I was asked how to set up a simple farm for, providing MJ power as opposed to EU power, which is used by industrial craft. And this is a simple setup I've come up with. I know it doesn't look terribly simple, but here's the way it works. Planter and harvester, setting up to just do regular old oak trees. The pipe comes out of the harvester, comes down, touches on 4 of the 6 surfaces with the planter so that almost all of the saplings go in. The few that don't go in come over this way. Now this setup is done so that you have a minimum amount of gold, and I won't recommend this to anybody who doesn't want to pay constant attention to their stuff. But what happens is the wood and the apples are the things that come out most often, and I've set up these barrels here just to show how little they usually come out. A few came out over here, 2. But for the most part, the wood will come over, go into the powered furnace. Powered furnace will then shove the charcoal this direction. It'll slowly go into these. This is the worst power setup, I'll say, of all of the 2 that I've got set up here. This one, I haven't had this one overheat, and I've let it run for a while now. But you can see it doesn't generate a lot of power either because it's not getting enough fuel. These, without any upgrades, only do a 3x3 area, which is not a lot. I recommend you go with at least a tin upgrade, which increases the radius by 3, and as you can see, it provides constant wood for the furnaces to be burning. You use the same setup. You have it where the harvester collects it, routes it down. In this one I used a diamond pipe to sort. Green, just to prevent anything from going up back into the harvester. Red is a default, where anything that doesn't fit the other 2 goes this way. Blue is for the saplings, and oak wood goes into yellow. So it comes down this way, hits the iron pipe, which prevents anything from bouncing back. And then it bounces down here, hits this iron pipe, which then bounces it back, and it'll just bounce back and forth until it goes through all of these furnaces. And as you can see, they're generating a lot of charcoal. The charcoal then goes into the engines, which just continuously burn. I think about half of these are ready. This is 16 furnaces, and you can just continuously add more as long as you do the setup so that the pipes are in one row. Get down to the end so you can see. The pipes are in the top left and bottom right, and the, what's this called? The redneck cable is on the opposite corners, because that way whenever you add more, they will add additional power. This will provide, when fully set up with 128 Stirling engines, these 4 furnaces will power all 128 engines eventually. It takes it a while. Usually the biggest factor is, or the biggest limiting factor is how fast can the wood be collected. Over here. And occasionally leaves will decay without actually having anything nearby, so that's why you see the sapling here. So you can see this will slowly go up. You want to make sure that all of these have saplings in them. Even over there, all of them have saplings, because if anything else does manage to get in here, it might occupy one of these slots, and it might start taking up more slots than you really want it to. But you can see this thing is generating enough power to keep this constantly breaking stuff. Are these all going? It looks like some of them are stuck. Hold on. There we go. That should be more power. Let's see. Looks like most of them are going. This one's not. That one is going. But yes. This alone is enough to provide a decent amount of power. In fact, let me go ahead and grab some redstone energy cells. Where's this one? And we'll just attach this to, let's say, the other end, so we can see how much power is actually being generated. Let's see, what's going on. Right now, all the power is going that direction. Yep, all power is going that way. And coming over here, let's see. You see, this one's actually building up power because it can't. Everything over here can't use up enough power. But this has actually been running longer than this one. Let's see. Oh, look, all the wood got chopped down. So you can see the wood just gets bounced around and goes down into the furnaces. And these things cook fast when they're completely powered up. In fact, this one should, yeah. You can see it'll actually go up real fast here. This will almost not even drop. And then I had it output to the bottom, including all the extra oak saplings. And everything gets fed out along this row. The saplings will go into the engines and burn, but because they don't last very long, they will burn out pretty fast and still leave the slot open for charcoal whenever it's available. But this is just what you can do with 16 engines, and it runs pretty well. Stays pretty constant. You will want to add more engines. I'd recommend at least 32 to have this start building up significantly. Let's see. In fact, I'm going to add more engines, and I will come back after I have done so. Okay, so I've added 16 more engines, and when you're adding these, you want to make sure that these are yellow and not blue, because that's controlling the direction of the power. Let's see, is this actually building anything up yet? Nope, of course not. But you can see, just by adding those few extra engines, it's already generating more power, and all of this is disappearing even faster. And it replants itself very quickly. But this will grow very quickly. My favorite setup is to do diamond, but of course, when you're having limited resources, you can't do as much that way. See, that's all done. Let me see if this thing's powering up yet. Wait, no, darn it. That's not going to work because I have that connected to that. Hold on. That's an input. Now let's see how much power is going in here. Yes, you can see this thing's generating a ton of power, and all of this, oops, stupid lag, is running at max speed. You can see there's no loss in power anywhere in here. Everything's operating at fastest efficiency, and this thing's generating a ton of power. So you can attach a quarry to this, control the output with this, because this will build up. And the more engines you add, obviously, the faster it'll go, and the faster it goes, the more fuel it'll require, and these things will grow. In fact, the only reason they're not really growing that fast right now, whoops, and you see how fast that went. That was actually kind of cool. Yeah, and you can actually take the sludge away with and use it in a sludge boiler, which I usually try to do because I like all that free soul sand. It's just handy. But yes, this is a way to do the MJ power setup, and this is extremely stackable. You just keep on adding engines in here as you need to, just plop them in. Of course, they'll do that whenever you put them down, but you can just keep stacking them in here. Now the ones on the end won't get power until this thing really starts taking off, because the limitation is really how fast will the trees grow. And of course, the more trees you have in an area, the faster it grows, which is why whoops, hello. Get eaten by a tree. And that's one of the reasons why I try to make this area as big as possible. Like I said, I use diamonds, which are about 3 times the size of this. You can see this will grow very quickly, and then because we're using both the extra saplings and the charcoal as fuel, there's no waste involved. Because the apples that will come out, why is there an apple here? That should not have happened, because red, everything goes out this way, comes out here. Then when I logged out, there was an apple in the pipe. You can see, it's also a source of handy-dandy food. How lovely is that? In any event, I hope this helps you with determining your power needs. This is a basic setup that will work over the short term, but you have to stay on top of it because both apples and branches will get stuck in there and you'll need to clean them out. But you can see this thing does generate a lot of power, and using the conversion mod, which is also in the FTB packs, you can convert that into EU, which generally then gives you free EU. It's wonderful. Okay, how is this? Oh, okay, so I need to go turn this off over here, because this right here is sucking up power. You can see how fast this will go. There. Now it's not sucking up power anymore, so this should start disappearing far more quickly. If you are unsatisfied with how fast this is going, you can add more of these harvesters around the outside edge and just have them all route into the same inputs, and you will have a ton. It'll harvest that much faster. In fact, I ended up doing that in the Magic Farm mod pack because it was just it made it so much faster and gave me so much more power. In any event, I hope this helps you folks. If you need custom videos, please let me know. This is Phicksur, signing out.